Howdy. Here we go. Excuse me. Quick little lecturette. I want to talk to you about Paul B. Baltes and his lifespan developmental approach. So this is a theory, and it's not a long theory. It's got a lot in it, but I'm going to go over the highlights with you, and it's in your text. You can read about the details if you will, please. This thing's broken down into seven, seven key principles. And I'm going to go over each one of these as worded by him because that's the best way to understand this. So 7 key principles. 1, development is lifelong. We've talked about that. It's a horizontal line with vertical additions to it. So yeah, you gain some things, but the key word is change. In his theory, developmental is lifelong, the first key principle. He states that each period is affected by what has happened and will affect what is to come. So you're talking about experience here. You're talking about what have I been through, and it's affecting me now, and then it's going to have an effect carried forward because I'm not leaving that experience behind. Second thing is development is multidimensional. It's biological, psychological, and sociological. And there's no set pattern for that. Each one of these things develops at its own rate, depending again on what your experiences are. So development is multidimensional. That's number 2 of his 7 principles. Number 3, it's multidirectional. You may gain in some areas, you may take a step back in others, and you may do it at the same time. So I may gain ability, I may gain in an area of development, I may be losing in another section of it, just depending upon what it is. There's no way to give you, okay, if I'm going to gain in walking well, I'm going to lose in eating well. It doesn't work that way. It's no connection. It's just that that's a potential. Number 4 is relative influences of biology and culture shift over the lifespan. So development is influenced by biology and culture, but the influence changes with time. You are in a training ground at a young age in terms of your culture. I may have bounced this off of you before. So culturally, you're learning the rules. Here's the behavior that's expected out of you at a given moment in a given situation. Now, the biology of that is that how quickly do you pick up on these things you're being taught? How capable biologically are you to perform? So there's a little bit of an open area there. I guess I can put it that way because culture's giving me the rules, but then how biologically well am I equipped to accomplish that stuff? Age is related to need, accessibility, and priority. So that's kind of a brief synopsis of number 5. What are your talents? What kind of social support do you get? So we're talking about the relationship between age and what's going on around you, sort of like in a Bronfenbrenner view. Number 6, development shows plasticity. Abilities can be improved. You learn and then you put into effect that learning. Your brain is very plastic, so it's growing not physically, obviously, but in abilities. And then number 7, development's influenced by the historical and cultural context. We already talked about a couple of things related to that. Cohorts, for example. Circumstances are defined by time and place, and conditions are defined by the same determinants. So where am I in my developmental process? What's going on? And when I say where am I, I'm talking about age. and what are my abilities. Place refers to things like culture. So, what's going on internally? What's going on externally? That's what Baltes addresses. Now, I'm going to leave it that short because uh, if you're keeping up in the syllabus, then you should be in a place in the text where you may be reading about this. Uh, I'm struggling with remembering where exactly this Baltus theory is, but that's not important. At least you got the general view, and then you can pick up the details on your own. Next time I come to you, we'll talk about theory and research, and we'll probably hear more about Baltus again there. So yeah, a little short, sweet, but good information. See you around.